Hello, welcome to our Principles of Structural Analysis and Design, episode number 24. So sa problem na to, or sa episode na to, let's solve the problem from a past board problem. So let's read, no? That to construct the deck of a bridge over a deep ravine, steel beams placed at spacing 2.1 meters on centers and simply supported on a span of L equals 20 meters. Used to support the construction loads, which include temporary formwork and construction load equivalent to 4,200 pascals. At this stage, only the steel beams carry the dead loads. After the slab has hardened, sufficient shear connectors, ito yun, welded to the beam flange provide full composite action. So may composite action daw dito later on. Of the steel beam with 0.15 meters thick cast-in-place concrete slab. So you are given the properties of the material and the modular ratio. This is for the composite action later. And then for composite action, use effective flange width for this for the concrete na of 1,800 millimeters. And then you're also given the material properties of the steel section. Okay, so just to explain the figure, ito ay yung isometric view natin. Ito yung mga steel beams na tinutukoy sa problem. Ang spacing daw nila ay 2.1 meters. So lagyan na natin. So ito ay 2.1 meters, ito rin, and so on. Okay? And then yung span daw natin ay 20 meters. Okay? Ayan. Tapos, number 1, determine the maximum bending stress in the beam due to the dead load, which include the beam weight, slab, and a wearing surface of 600 pascals. Okay? And the construction loads. So, bali, pinapahanap lang ano yung maximum moment dun sa steel beam due to the dead load. So, ibig sabihin, i-summarize muna natin ano ba lahat ng dead loads. Okay? So, una, beam weight, no? Beam weight muna. So, di ba ang weight ng beam ay nandito, 152, no? Kilogram per meter. So, we have the self-weight, no? Tawagin ko na self-weight. That would be 152 kilogram. Gawin natin kilonewton per meter. So, multiply natin ng 9.81, divide natin ng 1,000. Okay, so let's calculate that. So, 150 na, 150, sorry, this should be 152, sorry. So, 152. So, 152 times 9.81 over 1,000. Okay, and that is 1.49. So, 1.49 kilonewton per meter. That is the beam self-weight. Ano pa? So, meron binigay kanina yung sa construction load, yung 4,200 pascal. No? So, construction load. So, lagay na lang natin 4.2 kilopascal. Tapos, gawin natin yan na kilonewton per meter. So, ang idea kasi, kung titignan natin, yung spacing ng mga beams ay 2.1. So, ibig sabihin, yung length nito ay 2.1, tapos yung length dito ay 20. So, mapapansin natin, if you will analyze this slab, yung slab na yon will be under one-way action. So, ibig sabihin, kung one-way action, so ibig sabihin kalahati ng spacing at saka yung kalahati ng spacing sa kanan ng beam na to at yung kalahati ng spacing sa kaliwa ng beam na yon, yun yung responsibility niya. Okay? So ibig sabihin ito yung magiging responsibility niya, kalahati sa kaliwa, kalahati sa kanan. Ayan. Okay, so ibig sabihin yan ngayon yung tributary width niya. Okay? So ibig sabihin lahat ng load na nandito, yun lang yung dadalhin niya. Okay, so lahat ng load na nandyan with a tributary width equal to 2.1 meter. No? 2.1 meter din ito. Ayan. So, ibig sabihin, to convert yung construction load na naka-pressure into a kilonewton per meter, i-multiply lang natin siya ng 2.1 na tributary width. Okay? So 4.2 times 2.1 would give us 8.82. So 8.82 kilonewton per meter. What else? So meron ding wearing surface, no? Ito, yung binigay, no? So wearing surface. So same idea, yun ay naka-Pascal. So para ma-convert sa kilonewton per meter, so convert mo muna sa kilopascal. So bali 0.6 yan sa kilopascal. And then times yung tributary width na 2.1. And that gives us 1.26 kilonewtons per meter. And finally, don't forget yung slab, no? Yung concrete slab natin. So syempre meron pa ditong bigat nung netong slab na to, 'di ba? So as we can see, ang given sa atin ay yung unit weight ng concrete. So para maging kilonewton per meter 'yan, no? I-multiply lang natin 'yan dun sa cross-sectional area ng concrete. Bali ito. Okay, at yung cross-sectional area na yan is ganun din, yung width niya ay 2.1 meters, tapos yung thickness niya, sinabi naman sa problem na yun ay 0.15. Okay, so magiging kilonewton per meter na, no? So that is 24 times 2.1 times 0.15. So 24 times 2.1 times 0.15. So that gives us 7.56. Okay, and I think that's all, no? Importante lang, wala tayong makalimutan dito. So sinabi niya, beam weight, okay na. Slab, okay na. Wearing surface, okay na. Pati yung construction load, ito rin. Ito naman yun. Okay na. No? So, okay na lang. So, ibig sabihin, yung total dead load natin, tawagin ko na W sub T, no? Total. So, i-add lang natin yan lahat. So, 1.49 plus 8.82 plus 1.26 plus 7.56. And that should give us 19.13 kilonewton per meter. Okay? So, therefore, now that we have the load, so parang ang lalabas na ngayon, para lang siyang simply supported beam, no? So, this is for number 1. So, para lang siyang simply supported beam. Okay, na subject to a uniform load equal to the calculated, which is 19.13 kilonewton per meter. And therefore, ang maximum moment na mapoproduce dyan, which is at the midspan, would simply be equal to W L squared over 8. Okay, at pwede na natin actually makompute. So that's 19.13 times 20 squared over 8. And that gives us 956.5 kilonewton meters. Okay? And dahil meron na tayo noon, we can now calculate the maximum bending stress. And that is just MC over I. Okay? At dahil dito sa number 1, wala pang composite action na mangyayari kasi ibig sabihin dito hindi pa fully cured yung concrete, no? So yung bakal lang natin yung magdadala ng load na yon. So ang gagamitin lang muna natin ng moment of inertia would be yung moment of inertia nung bakal or nung steel cross nung structural steel na kung saan equal sa 15 times 10 to the 8, which is yun yung moment of inertia about the x-axis. So we have 956.5 times 10 to the 6, gawin natin Newton millimeter. Tapos yung C natin, so di ba ang cross-section natin dyan ay ganito. Ayan, so ito yung x-axis. Na lumalabas, yan na rin yung neutral axis natin for this case. So, as we can see, yung C natin is yung distance natin from the extreme fiber. And actually, pantay lang naman yan kasi doubly symmetric naman tong natin, I shape. So, ibig sabihin, kung ang total depth nito ay 688 as given in the problem, yung C natin bali would be kalahati nun, which is 344. Okay? So, 344 over the moment of inertia about the x-axis, which is 15 times 10 to the 8. Okay, and our maximum bending stress due to dead load. Okay, this gives us 219.36 megapascals. Okay, and that will be our answer for number 1. Okay, next, determine the maximum stress in the beam if a standard truck load, highway load, no, consisting of PS is equal to 17.8 kilonewton front wheel load and PL equals 71.2 kilonewton rear wheel load. Distance between loads is 4.27 meters, include 20% impact live load. Okay, so pinapahanap naman yung maximum stress. So dito, kailangan tandaan natin na kapag ka meron kang moving load, in order for you to produce the maximum moment, no, kailangan daw, no, ito ay pang dalawang wheel ha, kailangan daw yung gitna ng beam, no, yung gitna ng beam or yung center line ng beam ay papagitnaan nung maximum na wheel load at yung resultant ng mga wheel, no? So what do I mean pagdating sa drawing? No, drawing natin. So ganito daw mapoproduce yung maximum moment natin. Okay, so kunyari ito yung gitna. No, yan yung center line natin. So kailangan, ito yung requirement ha, kailangan yung pinakamabigat na wheel, ito yun, larger, PL, larger. Tapos yung resultant ng mga load, tawagin ko na lang na R, ay kailangan daw equidistant doon sa center line. So kailangan parehas lang yung distance nito. So kung ito ay X, ito rin ay X. Okay? Tapos kunwari nandito somewhere yung smaller na load. Ganyan, no? Yan yung itsura. Ganyan dapat yung tandaan natin. Tapos dito natin matatagpuan yung maximum moment. Ayan, diyan makikita yung maximum moment. Okay? So siguro lipat natin. Hindi natin dito. So makikita mo yung maximum moment dun sa ilalim ng largest load. Okay? Well, alam ko no, probably ang kabisado yung formula ay ito. Actually, meron ng formula yan. So, I'm not sure kung ito exactly yun ha, pero parang ganito. RL minus yung P ng smaller times yung distance ng mga wheels over 4RL. Kasi ito naka-square. Ganyan, na parang ganyan. So, actually, kung kabisado niyan, pwede nyo na yan gamitin. Kaya lang, applicable lang yan ha sa dalawang wheels, no, dalawang gulong. Yung R, yung resultant, yung PS, yung smaller load, tapos yung L, yung span, tapos yung DW, distance ng mga wheels. Okay? Pero kung halimbawa, hindi mo yan kabisado, pwede mo naman, ang kailangan na kabisado mo is kung paano yung posisyon para ma-produce yung maximum moment, no? And para ma-compute yun, una yung gagawin is to solve for this X, kung ano yan. So, to solve for that X, di ba, ito yung mga gulong. Ito kunwari yung larger, ito kunwari yung smaller. Kasi ito kunwari yung distance nila, dw. Somewhere in between them, nandun yung resultant. Okay? So, syempre, yung resultant is yung sum ng dalawa pag nag-summation tayo ng forces. Okay? Tapos, para mahanap itong distance na to, so sa figure ko, lumalabas, ito yung 2x. Kasi x itong kaliwa, x itong kanan, no? So, lumalabas 2x yan. So, magva-Varignon's theorem ka lang. Varignon's theorem. So, pag nag-Varignon's theorem ka, let's say I will take moment doon sa larger load. Okay, yung total, which is yung R, times 2x. would be equal to the force smaller times yung distance ng mga wheels. Okay, na kung saan lalabas dito, yung x ay equal lang sa smaller load times distance ng mga wheel over yung resultant R. Okay? Tapos, pagka lumipat tayo dito sa figure na to, sa beam, para makuha na natin yung maximum moment sa ilalim niyan, kukunin lang kung ako, ang palagi kong ginagawa para mas mabilis, kukunin ko na lang yung reaction dito. Tawagin ko tong A, tawagin ko tong B. So, kunin ko lang yung reaction sa B. Okay? So, para makuha yung reaction sa B, syempre mag-moment tayo, no? So, take note that itong distance na to is L over 2 minus X. Kasi di ba hanggang dito, L over 2. Tapos ito L. Okay? So, pag nag-moment tayo from A is equal to 0, assuming counterclockwise positive, gagamitin ko na lang yung resultant ha. So, yung resultant times yung moment arm niya ay L over 2 minus X would be equal to the reaction at B times L. So, lumalabas yung reaction sa B ay equal, pag dinivide yung L, equal lang sa R over L times L over 2 minus X. Okay? Tapos kapag meron ka ng RB, ang gagawin ko naman next is magka-cut ako dito, isolate ko itong nasa kaliwa. So pagka in-isolate natin yun, ito naman yung makikita natin, no? Ayan. Tapos andito yung RB na equal sa R over L times L over 2 minus X. Okay? Tapos, sabi ko nga, nandito yung maximum moment. Okay? So ano tong distance na to? Okay? That is also L over 2 minus X. So this is also L over 2 minus X. Tapos nandito yung wheel natin, no? Pero mamaya pag nag-moment tayo dyan, hindi na yun nasasama. So pag nag-moment na tayo ngayon dito, taking summation of moment at this point, tawagin ko na na point C, is equal to 0. We are expecting na nandyan yung maximum moment that would be equal to RB times L over 2 minus X. Yan na yung maximum moment. So actually ako, yan yung ginagawa ko, no? Kung halimbawa makalimutan ko man to. Okay? Pero let's just show kung ito ba talaga yung formula. Yung RB, hindi ba yan ay R over L times L over 2 minus X, no? Tapos i-multiply pa natin to ng L over 2 minus X. As you can see, pwede natin i-simplify. Tuloy na lang natin dito, ha? Okay, yung M maximum, pwede natin i-rewrite as R over L times L over 2 minus X squared. Okay? Tapos itong nasa loob, pwede natin na i-simplify. R over L times L minus 2X over 2. Okay? Tapos yung X kanina, ito yon PSDW over R. O, ilagay natin. R over L times L minus 2 times PSDW over R over 2 squared. Okay? And then dahil ito ay merong denominator merong denominator na R, no? So kunin ulit natin yung common denominator. So magiging R over L times magiging RL na to minus 2 PS DW over um, over 2R. Okay? Ayan, no? Ay actually dito pala, yung X pala natin, no, I think I overlook it, no. Ito pala dapat ay divided by 2. May divided by 2 kasi 2x ito, no. So ibig sabihin dapat to meron 2 dito. Okay? So ibig sabihin magka-cancel itong 2 na to. Ayan. No? So ibig sabihin wala na itong 2 na to. Okay? Ayan. So and then naka-squared ito lahat. Okay? And kapag sinimplify pa natin yan, magiging R over L. So, itong nasa numerator side, iiwan na lang natin as naka-square. As yung denominator side is 2r squared is just 4r squared. So magka-cancel yung isang r, sasama dun yung L, kaya ang lalabas dito, yung maximum moment natin is in fact RL minus PSDW squared over 4RL, which is ito rin yung kanina natin na sinulat. Okay, ito rin yun, no? Okay, so that's how we derive it. No? Pero kung gusto nyo kabisaduhin, pwede naman, no? Mas madali kung kabisado. So anyway, kung gagamitin natin ito, so we can now calculate the maximum moment. So sa problem, binigyan tayo na yung PL ay 71.2. Tapos yung P smaller is 17.8. Tapos yung distance ng mga wheels ay 4.27. Ayan. So, we'll just apply them, no? So, lumalabas yan kapag itong dalawa, so we can calculate for the R dito na lang sa baba. Yung R ay P smaller plus P larger. That would give us 71.2, tama ba? Plus 17.8. So, that gives us 89 kilonewtons. Okay, so if we would use that formula, magiging 89 times yung L natin 20 minus yung smaller na wheel load, 17.8 times yung distance between them is 4.27 naka-square over 4RL. Okay, and that gives us our maximum moment, 407.81 kilonewton meters. Okay? And now that we have that, we can now calculate our moment of inertia. I mean, our bending stress. However, we still need to calculate for our moment of inertia. Sa number 2 kasi, although wala siyang binanggit specifically, dahil meron ng dumaan na sasakyan, it is logical to assume or to conclude na nag-cure na yung concrete. Diba? Hindi naman magpapadaan yung sasakyan kung hindi pa nag-cure yung concrete. At dahil nag-cure na yung concrete, i-consider na natin dito ngayon yung composite action. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, tutulong yung concrete slab dun sa steel beam natin. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, meron tayo ngayong section. Kunin ko lang to ha. Ayan. So, meron tayo ngayong section na kung saan magkatulong itong dalawa. No? So, lagyan natin ng dimensions. Ito ay 150 mm. Ito ay 688. Tapos ito naman yung sinasabi niya na effective flange width na 1,800. Okay. Kaya lang, ito, concrete. Ito, steel. Alam naman natin na yung formula na MC over I, no, yung bending stress formula, ang isa sa mga assumptions sa derivation nun is kailangan yung material mo homogeneous. Or ibig sabihin, yung material mo iisa lang. So, ano ang gagawin para maging mapag-isa itong dalawang magkaibang materials na to? So, dito ngayon papasok yung tinatawag natin na transform section, no? So, ita-transform natin siya to single material. Okay? So, paano yon? So, ganito yan. You can choose if you want to convert everything in concrete or you can also convert everything into steel. Now, depende yan sa case, depende sa kung ano yung mas madali. Um, to convert, no, yung modular ratio natin, ito na lang siguro. Konting background lang. Yung modular ratio, ano yan eh? Modulus of elasticity nung stronger na material sa modulus of elasticity nung weaker na material. Palagi yon. Kaya nga yung modular ratio natin laging mas malaki sa 1. No? Kasi ibig sabihin, yung stronger material, syempre, mas malaki yung inon compared dun sa weaker material. In this case, yung weaker material natin is yung concrete. No? Syempre, mas matibay talaga yung bakal, yung steel. So that's why we have this particular modular ratio. Ngayon, kung iisipin natin, how does it reflect in terms of the geometry, no? No? So tingnan natin. So 'di ba, yung modular ratio, I mean yung modulus of elasticity, ano yan? Slope yan ng stress strain curve, 'di ba? So nasa y-axis yung stress, nasa x-axis yung strain. So ibig sabihin, ito yung stress divided by strain. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, kapag sinubshoot natin ito dito, mangyayari, this would be stress over strain nung strong material over, ito naman yung stress over strain nung weaker material. Okay? At ang idea dito, kapag na-transform mo na siya sa um, iisang section or iisang material, kailangan yung transform section, same lang yung strain. Kumbaga yung strain kailangan constant. Kaya dito, sabihin natin na strain must be constant. So, ibig sabihin, itong strain na to, magka-cancel out lang. Okay? Kaya lumalabas ngayon, no, na yung modular ratio is also equal to the stress of the strong material divided by the stress of the weaker material. Okay? So take note of that. Now, maliban dyan, sa baba ko lang to. Baba natin. Maliban dyan, um, we also need to identify that hindi ba, yun nasa taas, hindi ba pag sinabi mong stress, equal lang yun sa force divided by area? No? Force divided by area. So, ibig sabihin, itong, mula dito, we can also write na yung modular ratio is force divided by area nung stronger material over force divided by area nung weaker material. Okay? Tapos, dito naman, of course, kung meron kang material na kahit magkaiba pa yan, pag meron kang in-apply na force dyan, kailangan hindi magbabago. So, dito naman, kailangan yung force natin must be constant. So, ibig sabihin, this will cancel out. Okay? And we are left with modular ratio equal to 1 over area ng strong over 1 over area ng weak, or that is also equal to the area of the weak divided by area of the strong. Okay? So yan ngayon yung mga relationship natin. So how do I use that? So bali bilugan ko ha, ito, tsaka to. No? So how do I use those? Well, specifically speaking, sa problem na to, ang gagamitin natin dito is itong geometry, itong green. No? Na kung saan sinasabi niyan, dito na lang natin ilagay, sinasabi niya na yung ratio ng area ng weaker sa area ng stronger ay equal lang din sa modular ratio. So, ibig sabihin ganito, if I want to convert itong ito na lang, if I want to convert this weaker material into a stronger material, cross-multiply lang natin, tapos divide natin ng n, so maging ganito siya. Ayan, no? So, ano ibig sabihin nito? Ito yung original na weak material. Original geometry of the weak material. No? So, kapag pala dinivide mo yun ng modular ratio, magiging equivalent. Ito yung magiging equivalent geometry ng weak material into strong material. Kumbaga, sinasabi nito, um, in order for you to find the equivalent size of a strong material, no, nung or should I say, ibahin natin. Para malaman ko kung ano yung equivalent size netong mahinang material na to kapag kinonvert ko siya sa matibay na material, no? Kailangan lumiit siya, no? Kumbaga, ang equivalent niya na size doon sa stronger material mas maliit. No? Bakit mas maliit? Kasi originally, mas mahina siya. So, ibig sabihin, kung magiging malakas siya na material, kailangan paliitin mo yung area para makuha mo yung same capacity. Okay? So, hopefully that makes sense. No? Kaya ito yung pinapakita nito. Alright? So, ibig sabihin, para maging strong material yung weak material, i-divide mo ng modular ratio yung area niya. And vice versa. Kung halimbawa naman na yung strong material gusto mong gawing weak material, na gusto mong pahinain, kailangan mo naman i-multiply ito. No? Kailangan mo naman siyang i-multiply para makuha mo yung equivalent na weak material niya. So, ibig sabihin, yung originally matibay na material, para maging mahinang material siya, kailangan lumaki siya. No? Para maging yung capacity niya ay same pa din. Okay? So, I hope that makes sense. No? But anyway, in short, dito, yung concrete, kung gusto kong gawing steel, kailangan kong i-divide yung area ng modular ratio. Tapos yung steel, kung gusto kong maging concrete siya, kailangan ko naman siya i-multiply ng modular ratio. Kaya nga sabi ko kanya, mamimili ka lang kung anong gusto mo. So dito, mas convenient, no, based on experience, that yung concrete na lang yung gagawin nating steel. So, ibig sabihin, yung mahinang concrete para maging steel, i-divide natin ng modular ratio yung isa sa mga dimension niya. No? Take note, isa lang sa mga dimension ha, hindi yung dalawa. Kasi isang n lang yan. Kasi 'di ba kung halimbawa na ito ay base times height divided by n. So mamimili ka lang yung height by i-divide mo ng n, no? Yung height by divide mo ng n or yung b yung i-divide mo ng n. Okay? So dito, para hindi magbago yung depth at saka para hindi tayo mahirapan mamaya mag-solve nung centroid or nung neutral axis, ito na lang yung galawin natin. No? Ito na lang i-divide natin ng n. So bali, ito yung i-apply natin. Ayan. Okay? So yung transform section niyan, magiging ganito ang itsura. So walang magbabago sa steel cross-section dahil hindi natin siya i-convert. Ang i-convert natin bali is yung concrete section. Ayan. So, as you can see, liliit na to, no? Kasi magiging ano na to B divided by N. So, what is that? So, 1,800 divided by modular ratio na 9, which is 200. Okay? Ayan. Tapos ito, 150 pa rin. Walang magbabago. Tapos ito, 688 pa rin. So, ito na ngayon yung equivalent steel nung concrete. Okay? Tapos, ibig sabihin, steel na lahat to. No? So, ibig sabihin, steel na sila lahat. Yun yung idea, na para maging isang section lang siya or isang klaseng material lang siya. So, of course, because same material na sila, pwede na natin hanapin ngayon kung nasaan yung neutral axis niyan. So, bali, mag-breakdown theorem tayo. No? So, let's say, dito na lang ako sa baba mag, uh, mag, um, magre-refer no, sa baba. So, we will apply Brightman's theorem on the transform section. Transform section. So, ito yung transform section natin. Okay? So, sa ano tayo, no? Summation ng moment sa bottom tayo. Moment of area sa bottom. So, yung total area, so tawagin ko na lang ito na area 1. Ito tawagin natin na area 2. No? So, yung total area, which is area 1 plus area 2 times y bar would be equal to area 1, ang moment arm nun from the bottom ay 688 plus 150 over 2 plus yung area 2, which is yung steel. Ang moment arm nun is just 688 over 2. Ayan. So from here, we should be able to calculate for y bar. So diretsuhin ko na. So we have, pag sinolve yung y bar, lagi ko na lang sa A yung A1. 688 plus 150 over 2 plus, lagi ko sa B yung area 2. 688 over 2 divided by area 1 plus area 2. And then area 1 is now 200 by 150 as you can see in the drawing. So yung base mo 200, yung height mo 150. And then yung area 2 is of course yung binigay na area 19,355. So ito na yun, no? Ayan. So ito ngayon yung Y bar natin. 598.669 or 685. 685 millimeters. Store natin to sa sa Y. Okay? So next, alam na natin kung nasaan yung neutral axis netong composite section. So we can now we will now need to solve for the moment of inertia. So moment of inertia would be, so yung moment of inertia nung ano muna, nung transform na concrete, so BH cube over 12 kasi rectangle. Ay, sorry. Yung B pala 200. So 200, 150 cube over 12 plus yung area na yon, tawagin ko area 1, tapos distance. So, yung distance ng centroid nito, papunta sa neutral axis, ito, which is, ano lang yan, no? Bali, 688 plus kalahati ng 150 minus yung y bar. And then don't forget squared, no? Plus, yung moment of inertia naman nung I section, given yun, 15 times 10 to the 8, 15 times 10 to the 8 plus AD squared. So area 2 times yung distance nilang dalawa. So yung centroid naman nito is somewhere here. So yung distance nilang dalawa, bali ito. Which is kalahati ng, sorry, ito pala. Kalahati ng 688, iba-minus natin sa y bar. Okay, and that should give us our moment of inertia of the transform section. So 200 times 150 cube over 12 plus area 1 times 688 plus 150 over 2 minus y bar plus area plus 15 times 10 to the 8 plus area 2 times y bar minus 688 over 2 squared. Okay, and that gives us 3621.68. 3621.68 times 10 to the 6 millimeters to the fourth. So store natin sa calculator. Sa M na lang. Okay? So now that we have that, we can now define now the maximum stress in the beam. No? So nasa ang bending stress sa beam, number 2. Number 2 na ba to? Okay. So the maximum bending stress on the beam, ganun pa rin, MC over I. Okay? Yung M natin, yung na-compute natin kanina, 407.81. Okay, times 10 to the 6 para maging Newton millimeter. Tapos yung C, ano yung C? So actually dito, meron tayong dalawang pwedeng ikunin. Pwedeng itong fiber na to or itong fiber na to. And pinagkaiba lang, yung fiber sa ibabaw will be under compression while yung fiber sa ilalim will be under tension, no? Because the bending is positive. However, wala namang binanggit specifically kung anong klaseng stress. So, ibig sabihin yung pinakamalaki lang. So, pinakamalaki meaning malaking C dapat, no? So, kung ito yung neural axis, no? So, kanina na-compute natin na ito ay 598.685. So, lumalabas itong kabila will be 688 minus Y bar, which is smaller. So, 89.31 lang. 89.31. So, ibig sabihin, mag-govern itong nasa bottom, no? Mas stress itong nasa ilalim. So, therefore, ano tayo? 598.685 over yung I. Hindi ko na susulat. And this gives us our bending stress. 407.81 times 10 to the 6 times yung Y bar natin over moment of inertia. So that gives us 67.41 megapascals. Okay? Okay. Meron ako na miss out, no? May binanggit pala dito na include 20% impact live load. So, ibig sabihin, itong mga live load na to, kailangan pa natin i-increase ng 20%. Well, actually, no problem, kahit na na-solve na natin ito lahat. Kasi kung titignan nyo yung mga formula, yung moment of inertia is proportional talaga siya dun sa mga live load, no, yung R. So, ibig sabihin, pwede na lang na kanina, ito, mumultiply na lang ito ng 1.2, no? At ganun din yung stress na na-compute natin. Kasi dito lang yan, yun. Pag nakamultiply ito ng 1.2, mumultiply din natin ito ng 1.2. So, lagay ko na lang dito, no? considering additional 20% for impact. Okay, so yung magiging maximum stress natin would be 1.2 nitong na-compute natin na 67.41. So, multiply natin ng 1.2. So, that gives us 80.90 megapascals. And that would be our answer. Okay, 80.9. Alright? And then for the last question, for number 3, ito madali na ito. Determine the total stress. Bali dito, the total stress will just be the sum nung sagot natin sa unang dalawa. So kapag in-add natin yung 219.36 and yung 80.9, we should get 300.26, which is letter B. Okay? And that gives us the total stress. O baga, yung total stress, before nag-harden yung concrete, and then yung stress, or plus stress due to the live load na moving two-wheel load. Okay? Now, in addition to that, so although tapos na naman yun, gusto ko lang emphasize na kapag halimbawa, na di ba ito yung transform section natin from earlier. Ito yung transform section kunwari natin. Okay? Kapag dinrawing natin yung stress diagram, okay? So ito ngayon yung na-compute natin na stress dito, tension sa ilalim, no? Okay, ang value ng stress na is 80.9. Okay? Tapos kung gusto mong computein yung stress dito sa ibabaw, no? Kasi ang neutral axis natin somewhere dito eh. Okay? So ganito kasi magiging itsura ng ano natin, stress diagram. Okay? So kung gusto mong kumpitin yung stress sa ibabaw ng concrete, that will sa ibabaw ng steel, that will just be equal to M. Yung C mo is yung 89. Ay 89.31 over I. Okay? Tapos kung gusto mo naman kumpitin yung stress dito, pwede rin, no? Yung M tapos yung distance na to, which is additional 150. Diba ito ay 150. Okay, so that's 89.31 plus 150 over I. Ayan. Okay? However, itong makukompute mo dito is the stress of equivalent steel, no? Of the given concrete. So, ibig sabihin, hindi yan yung totoong stress dun sa steel. I mean, sa concrete, no? Yan ay stress ng concrete kung siya ay steel. So, paano mo siya ibabalik doon sa actual stress niya, no? So, babalik tayo dito. Ito, N is equal to F of stronger over F of weaker. So, N is equal to F of strong over F of weaker. So, ito makakompute mo dito, ito yung stress nung siya ay strong. Kasi siya ay steel. So, ito yan. No? So, ibig sabihin, kung gusto mo makompute yung actual niya na stress, ito yon, which is yun yung totoo niya na, na material, yung weaker material. So, ibig sabihin, yung stress na weaker ay dapat equal sa, na-compute mo na equivalent stress kanina, di-divide mo pa ng N. Kaya yung actual niya na stress nung concrete is, etong nakuha natin dito, 89.31 plus 150 over INA, no? Tapos, di-divide mo pa ng modular ratio. Kaya meron pa ditong times N. So, this is the actual stress of the concrete. Okay? So, yung mako-compute mo dito is yung equivalent stress lang ng concrete kung siya ay steel. So, kung gusto mong malaman yung ano talaga yung totoo niyang stress, no? So, kailangan mo i-divide ng modular ratio. Kaya, yun yung importance nung diniscuss ko kanina. Ito. so that you would know how to manipulate yung makukompute mong stress, yung makukompute mong geometry, and vice versa. Okay? So hopefully may natutunan sa lecture na to. So thank you all for watching and don't forget to subscribe and share now this channel to your classmates and friends. So that's it for now. I'll see you on the next video.